The modern world, let's be honest, presents us with a seemingly infinite array of potential tasks, obligations, distractions. It pulls us in a multitude of directions, often simultaneously, leaving us feeling overwhelmed, scattered, and ultimately unproductive. How can we bring order to this chaos, you might ask? How do we distinguish between the truly important and the merely urgent? One powerful tool, a veritable weapon against the tyranny of the to-do list, is the Eisenhower Matrix. This deceptively simple tool, named after the 34th President of the United States, Dwight Eisenhower, a man who understood a thing or two about managing immense responsibility, provides a framework for prioritizing tasks based on their urgency and importance. This isn't about mere efficiency, though that is a welcome side effect. It's about ensuring that your actions align with your values, with your long-term goals. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and ultimately, your life from the clutches of the mundane and the insignificant. The Eisenhower Matrix compels you to confront the often uncomfortable reality of your daily choices. It asks you to differentiate between the urgent and the important, to recognize that what screams loudest is not always what truly deserves your attention. This process, while initially challenging, can be profoundly liberating. It allows you to shed the weight of false obligations, to focus your energy on what truly matters, and in doing so, to move through the world with intention and purpose. The Eisenhower Matrix, at its core, is a visual representation of your tasks and responsibilities, categorized along two axes, importance and urgency. Imagine, if you will, a simple square, divided into 4 equal quadrants. The vertical axis represents importance, ranging from not important at the bottom to important at the top. The horizontal axis represents urgency, with not urgent on the left and urgent on the right. Now let's populate these quadrants. The top right quadrant, important and urgent, houses your crises, your deadlines, those tasks that demand immediate attention. These are the things that, if left unattended, could lead to significant negative consequences. Think of a pressing work deadline, a family emergency, or a critical repair needed in your home. These are the things that often consume our days, leaving us feeling like we're constantly putting out fires. Diagonally across, in the bottom left quadrant, we find the not important and not urgent tasks. These are the time wasters, the distractions, the things that offer little to no value in the grand scheme of your life. This is the realm of mindless scrolling through social media, binge-watching television shows, or engaging in unproductive arguments. These activities, while perhaps tempting in the moment, ultimately detract from your overall well-being and productivity. The top left quadrant, important but not urgent, is where we find the heart of effective time management and personal fulfillment. This quadrant houses your long-term goals, your self-improvement projects, your relationships, your health. These are the things that truly matter, the activities that contribute to a meaningful and fulfilling life. Think of planning for your future, investing in your education, nurturing your relationships, or engaging in physical activity. These are the things that often get neglected when we're caught in the cycle of reacting to urgency. Finally, the bottom right quadrant, urgent but not important, is perhaps the most deceptive. These tasks often masquerade as important because they demand immediate attention. However, upon closer examination, they often contribute little to your overall goals or well-being. This is the realm of interruptions, unnecessary meetings, and other people's demands on your time. Now that we understand the 4 quadrants of the Eisenhower Matrix, the question becomes, how do we effectively categorize our tasks within this framework? The key lies in developing the habit of mindful discernment, of pausing before reacting to the demands of the day and asking ourselves, is this truly important? Is it truly urgent? Let's start with the important and urgent quadrant. These tasks are non-negotiable. They require your immediate attention. The goal here is not to eliminate these tasks entirely. Life inevitably throws us curveballs, but rather to minimize their occurrence through proactive planning and effective time management. Next, we turn to the important but not urgent quadrant, the domain of long-term thinking and strategic planning. This is where you invest in your future self, where you lay the groundwork for a fulfilling and meaningful life. The key to conquering this quadrant is to schedule dedicated time for these activities, to treat them with the same level of importance as you would a pressing deadline. Now let's address the bottom right quadrant, urgent but not important. These tasks often appear in our lives uninvited, demanding our attention but offering little in return. The key here is to become adept at saying no, to politely but firmly decline requests that don't align with your priorities. Remember, your time and energy are precious resources. Guard them accordingly. Finally, we arrive at the not important and not urgent quadrant, the realm of time wasters and distractions. The goal here is simple: eliminate these activities as much as possible. This requires a degree of self-awareness and discipline, a willingness to confront your own patterns of procrastination and avoidance. Let's ground this framework in practical examples. Imagine yourself once again at the helm of your busy life. An email arrives in your inbox marked urgent. It's a request from a colleague to review a document. Now, before you succumb to the siren song of urgency, pause and ask yourself, is this truly important? If the document is critical to a project you're leading, then yes, it belongs in the important and urgent quadrant, demanding your immediate attention. But what if, upon closer examination, this document is for a project outside your purview, something you're only peripherally involved in? This is where the Eisenhower Matrix demonstrates its power. This task, while seemingly urgent, is not truly important to your overall goals. It belongs, therefore, in the urgent but not important quadrant, and the appropriate response may be to politely decline the request or delegate it to someone else. Now consider a different scenario. You've set a goal to improve your physical health. This is clearly important, but it's not urgent in the same way that a deadline might be. However, if you relegate this goal to the back burner, allowing it to languish in the important but not urgent quadrant, it's likely to be overshadowed by more pressing matters. The key is to schedule dedicated time for exercise, to treat it with the same level of commitment you would a critical meeting. Finally, let's address the ever-present allure of the not important and not urgent quadrant. You're feeling mentally drained after a long day. The temptation to collapse on the couch and lose yourself in mindless entertainment is strong. Recognizing this tendency, however, allows you to make a conscious choice. Instead of succumbing to the allure of the unimportant and non-urgent, you might choose to engage in an activity that nourishes your mind or body, such as reading a book, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying a few moments of quiet reflection. Mastering the Eisenhower Matrix is not merely about categorization, it's about cultivating the discipline to prioritize the essential over the alluring siren song of the urgent. It's about recognizing that true productivity stems not from frantic activity, but from focused action aligned with your values and goals. So how do we cultivate this elusive discipline of focus? How do we resist the pull of the unimportant and the tyranny of the urgent? One powerful strategy is the practice of eating the frog, a concept popularized by self-help guru Brian Tracy. This rather unpleasant metaphor speaks to the importance of tackling your most daunting task, your frog, first thing in the morning. By confronting your most challenging task when your willpower is at its peak, you set a positive tone for the day and free yourself from the weight of procrastination. Another effective technique is the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that utilizes a timer to break work into intervals, traditionally 25 minutes in length, separated by short breaks. This approach leverages the power of focused bursts of activity followed by periods of rest, enhancing both productivity and mental agility. Equally important is the ability to minimize distractions. The modern world is a minefield of digital distractions constantly vying for our attention. Creating a dedicated workspace free from distractions, silencing notifications, and setting boundaries around technology use can significantly enhance your ability to focus on the task at hand. Remember, the goal is not to become a productivity machine, devoid of rest or enjoyment. It's about reclaiming your time and energy so that you can invest them in activities that truly matter to you, whether that's spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing a creative passion, or simply enjoying the present moment without the weight of unfinished tasks looming over you. The Eisenhower Matrix, while a powerful tool for prioritization, is not about doing it all. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are finite resources, and to use them effectively, you must become adept at delegating or eliminating tasks that don't align with your core priorities. This requires a shift in mindset, a willingness to relinquish control and trust others to handle certain responsibilities. Delegation, when done effectively, can free up significant time and mental energy, allowing you to focus on your strengths and passions. The key is to delegate strategically, identifying tasks that can be effectively handled by others, and then clearly communicating expectations, deadlines, and any necessary resources. Elimination, the often overlooked sibling of delegation, is equally important. Not all tasks are created equal, and some simply don't deserve a place on your to-do list, no matter how urgently they scream for your attention. This requires a ruthless honesty about your priorities and the willingness to say no to requests that don't serve your overall goals. Learning to say no is a skill, a muscle that strengthens with practice. Start by saying no to small requests, gradually working your way up to more significant commitments. Remember, each time you say no to something that doesn't align with your values, you're saying yes to something that does. The Eisenhower Matrix, when applied consistently, can become a powerful tool for reclaiming your time, reducing stress, and ultimately, living a more intentional and fulfilling life. It's not about achieving a mythical state of perfect productivity, but rather about making conscious choices about how you spend your precious time and energy. The Eisenhower Matrix isn't just a time management tool. It's a framework for living a more intentional and fulfilling life. It's about aligning your actions with your values, about making conscious choices about how you spend your precious time and energy. It's about recognizing that true productivity stems not from frantic activity, but from focused action on what truly matters. I encourage you to take this framework, experiment with it, and adapt it to your own life and circumstances. Start by identifying your big rocks, those important but not urgent activities that often get neglected in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Schedule dedicated time for these activities, treating them with the same level of importance as you would a pressing deadline. Remember, the journey to a more fulfilling and productive life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. There will be days when you feel overwhelmed, when the tyranny of the urgent threatens to consume you. But by returning to the principles of the Eisenhower Matrix, by consciously choosing to focus on the important over the merely urgent, you can navigate the complexities of life with greater clarity, purpose, and peace of mind.